At the lake house. The invitation. A weekend by the water, surrounded by pine trees and laughter, sounded perfect. She arrived late Friday evening. The gravel driveway crunched beneath her tires, the setting sun casting orange light across the lake's still surface. The house, an old but charming wooden cabin, looked exactly like she remembered from a college spring break trip 5 years ago. Inside, it smelled of cedar and old books. Sarah was already there, along with 2 other friends, Marcus and Jen. Hugs were exchanged, drinks were poured, and soon enough, they were sitting around the fireplace, reminiscing about wild college nights and exes they'd forgotten. "Just the 4 of us?" Emily asked, glancing around. Sarah smiled. "Yeah. Intimate group this time." That night, Emily had trouble sleeping. The house creaked, as old houses do, but it sounded deliberate, as if footsteps were pacing above her bedroom. When she asked Sarah about it in the morning, Sarah shrugged. "You probably heard the roof settling," she said. "This place is ancient." Emily nodded, but something about Sarah's expression seemed too careful. Part 2, The Legend. After breakfast, they took a canoe out onto the lake. Fog hung low over the water, and the trees along the shore stood like silent sentinels. "I still remember the story about this place," Jen said, breaking the silence. "That local legend." Marcus groaned. "You mean the one about the missing girl?" Emily perked up. "What missing girl?" Sarah exchanged glances with the others, then sighed. "It's just a dumb story. Supposedly, a girl named Lila went missing near this lake about 30 years ago. Locals said she was staying at a cabin with her friends and just vanished. No signs of a struggle, no clues. Some say the lake took her. Others, she hesitated. Well, others say she never left." "Never left how?" Emily asked. "She went crazy, killed her friends, and disappeared into the woods," Jen said with a grin. "Or maybe she still hides in the forest, looking for more." They all laughed uneasily, but the water felt colder after that. Emily glanced at the trees lining the lake and thought, for a second, that she saw a pale figure standing between the trunks. But when she blinked, it was gone. That night, Marcus disappeared. They searched the woods with flashlights, calling his name until their voices cracked. His phone, jacket, and shoes were still inside the house. No signs of a struggle. No footprints leading away in the fresh mud outside. It was as if he had just evaporated. "He wouldn't just leave," Jen said, pacing. "He left his damn asthma inhaler." Emily tried to call the police, but there was no reception. Of course there wasn't. Sarah said the landline was out, too. "I swear it worked last night," she muttered. The tension was immediate and suffocating. No one slept. They stayed in the living room, armed with fireplace pokers and a kitchen knife. Every creak made them jump. At some point during the night, Emily thought she saw a shadow move across the hallway, but when she turned to look, there was nothing. By morning, Jen was gone too. Her boots were still by the door. The blanket she'd wrapped herself in was in a crumpled pile on the couch. But she was nowhere to be found. "This isn't real," Emily whispered. "It's not, this can't be happening." Sarah just sat silently on the floor, staring into the cold ashes of the fireplace. "We shouldn't have come here," she murmured. "I never should have brought you." Emily looked at her. "What do you mean?" Sarah didn't answer. Emily made the decision to leave. She packed a bag, grabbed her keys, and told Sarah they needed to drive into town to find help. Sarah didn't argue. But when they got to the driveway, Emily's car was gone. Not vandalized. Not broken. Just gone. She stood there in the gravel, mouth open. The keys still in her hand. "Where's my car?" she whispered. Sarah just looked at her. That's when Emily noticed it. the faintest smile playing at the corner of Sarah's mouth. Part 5, The Truth Beneath. You already know what this is, Sarah said calmly. Emily took a step back. What the hell are you talking about? Sarah's voice was calm. Too calm. We told you the legend. But you didn't listen. Lila didn't vanish. She became something. The forest took her. Or maybe the lake did. Doesn't matter. She made a trade. Emily's heart was hammering. You're scaring me. Every 10 years, Sarah continued, stepping toward her, she needs a replacement. A group. 4, to be exact. 1 for the lake. 1 for the woods. 1 for the dark. 1 for her. Emily's voice shook. You brought us here on purpose. Sarah nodded. And then, from the trees behind the house, Emily heard it, a sound like wet footsteps. A low, gurgling breath. Sarah didn't flinch. She's here. Emily turned and ran. She ran through the trees, heart in her throat, branches clawing at her skin. She didn't know where she was going, just away. Eventually, the woods opened up to the lake. She was alone. Or so she thought. The water shimmered, dark and oily. A whisper seemed to come from it, calling her name. Emily. She turned to run, and saw Sarah standing at the edge of the trees. It's already decided, Sarah said. There's no escape. Emily's mind was spinning. 1 for the lake. 1 for the woods. 1 for the dark. 1 for her. And suddenly, she understood. Sarah wasn't just working for Lila. She was Lila. 30 years ago, Lila had vanished, or so people thought. But she had never left. She had traded her life for something else. Something eternal. She wore Sarah's face now. Lived among the living. Drew people back to the lake. And now it was Emily's turn. As Sarah/Lila stepped forward, Emily made a choice. She ran into the water. The cold wrapped around her like a shroud. Hands, not hers, pulled her downward. She couldn't scream. She couldn't breathe. And then. Darkness. 10 years later. The cabin sat still beneath the pines. A new group of friends pulled up the gravel driveway, laughter echoing. A woman stepped out of the cabin to greet them. Friendly, warm, familiar. Hi, she said. I'm Emily. So glad you could make it. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. The lake shimmered behind her. Waiting.